Hello, and welcome to Public Comment, a Pine Lake podcast. I'm your host, Courtney Wasserberger. Today's episode is a little different because there was no city council meeting last week due to summer break. Everybody needs vacation. So on this episode, I'm going to interview Thomas Torrent about the upcoming Pride Lake event and Jim Paproski on the city council. So before we jump into those interviews, I do have a few Pine Lake events and opportunities that I would like to highlight. So I'm going to start with a Lake Fest update. Everybody's favorite October festival is coming up very quickly, and the organizers, Kathy, of the event are looking for volunteers. There are so many ways that you can support, even if it's just for an hour or two on one of the days. And so if you're interested, you can email pinelakefest@gmail.com or visit the website pinelakefest.com. And if you want the best volunteer opportunity, you can sign up to help me out with parking. It's going to be super fun. We're going to get on the bus and do like a little survey and talk to the people who are coming in from out of town. So please volunteer for Lake Fest. We definitely need some help. And there's so many different ways you can volunteer. Next up, Plain is hosting a blood drive with the Red Cross on September 16th from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the clubhouse. Donating blood can be kind of intimidating, I know, but it's actually really straightforward. The full donation process usually takes less than 30 minutes. They just start by asking you a bunch of questions that checks your eligibility. Then you get your blood pressure and your temperature taken. They test your iron. And then they simply drain a pint of blood out of you. It's really easy. There's a little bit of a pain, like a pinch, but it doesn't really hurt. And then you get cookies afterwards. But one thing that keeps coming up when I talk to people about this is that a lot of people don't think that they're actually eligible to donate blood. And I think you might be wrong. So the Red Cross has changed a lot of their policies over the last few years. And I'm going to go ahead and link the eligibility requirements in the description of this podcast, or you can look it up on the Red Cross blood donation website, just so you can check out your specific situation. If you do like faint a lot when you have like needles and blood, like you don't have to donate. That's okay. But I think most people are actually eligible to donate. But why should you donate? So we are actually in a blood crisis in this country. And we kind of always have been since the pandemic. But basically, there's no like synthetic blood alternative. So we rely on each other to donate blood because the only way that if I need blood, the only way I can get it is if another person donates it. So blood donations help so many different people, from burn victims, cancer patients, people getting elective surgery, and more. And that's just like the day-to-day need. But the blood shortage becomes a much bigger problem whenever we have natural disasters or like mass trauma events. And in the case of natural disasters, not only do we need more blood to help people who get hurt, but the blood drives in that area during that time are canceled. So it's kind of like a double whammy. The good news is that you can help. Even if you just want to donate this one time, you can save up to 3 lives. Okay, so you're convinced you must donate blood on September 16th between 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. at the clubhouse. So in order to make an appointment, you're just going to click on the link that I have in the description. But if you have any issues, you can email plainhelps101@gmail.com. Or if you see me on the street, just ask, and I can help you out. Okay, so on to our first interview of the pod. I got to sit down with Thomas Torrent to talk about Pride Lake. All right, today my guest is Thomas Torrent, the CEO, founder, everything of Pride Lake. We're so excited to have you here today. Thank you so much.
To be here.
Thanks, and thank you for providing the background. I appreciate it. Yes, it is. So I wanted to bring you on because Pride Lake is coming up and you're entering the 5th year of Pride Lake.
So your 5th year.
5th year.
It means something big.
So for this 5th year, are you doing anything special for Pride Lake? Is there anything unique specifically about
well,
this year?
every year is special, of course. This is our 2nd year being recognized and treated by Atlanta Pride. They give us a micro grant through their Pride Across the Peach State grant program. So thank you, Atlanta Pride. So this year for our parade, we're going to have a special appearance by a roller skating crew with Jody, our neighbor, is going to be bringing her group of gals to roller skate with us, to give us that parade a neat dynamic.
Oh, that's really cool. So that feels special.
It is.
When you think about Pride over the years, how has it changed from year 1 to now your 5th year?
Year 1 was a wing and a prayer, and we did a GoFundMe account for initial monies to get things going. We still ended up being a couple $1,000s in the red, and same for the 2nd and 3rd year. But with the Pride Across the Peach State grant last year, we ended with $100.
Oh, all right.
So it's been a phenomenal game changer.
Yeah.
So things have it just makes things that much easier. Not just put our sweat equity into it and our time and our energies, but money.
Yeah. So before the grant, you were just raising money from and getting donations, which I'm sure you still want.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yes.
So tell me about how you decided to start Pride and what that process was like. 'Cause it was it's probably pretty easy within Pine Lake.
Well, it's not.
Tell me why it wasn't.
Okay, so it's kind of a long story how we got to do Pride to begin with. So growing up, when I came out, I was disowned and kicked out and had some really dark, rough times. And drag queens literally saved my life. And then I left Tupelo, Mississippi, and did not come back for 20 years until I found out that one of my dear friends, best friends, Miss Godiva, was doing the 2nd year of Pride in Tupelo, which I didn't think was possible. So I went. It was very emotional. I cried more than I cheered. And then I came back with this idea that I could do that.
Yeah.
Moved to Pine Lake. So many rainbow flags. So many LGBTQ, LGBTQs. So I just assumed there would be some kind of celebration. So I was sitting on the back porch of Jan Christensen, her back porch with Stephanie Morales, and I asked, when is Pride? And they're like, there's not one. I was like, why not? And Stephanie said, well, because there's never been anyone like you to do it. And I took that as a personal challenge. And so Tim and I went home and talked about it a lot and decided we could do it. And we did. And it took a village.
Yeah.
The thing about taking a village is sometimes you have to be a villager.
Right.
And so we put in the work, and there's a lot of permitting. There's a lot of cooperation with the city that you've got to do. Working with the Chief Green is a dream.
Yeah.
The only thing kind of like this before was Lake Fest and Pollination Celebration, which are, different events.
Yeah.
But blocking off the street and going through all the permitting. And I had to go before the council at the time.
Yeah.
And plead my case.
Which must have been a little bit scary given how traumatic things had been before. I feel like that's...
It was. But they heard me out. They asked very, smart questions to make sure that I could handle it. And I had a plan set out. And we followed through with that plan. And so thank you for your support. And it's just been great ever since. It's been tiring, but it's just such a joyful occasion. It's a full city administration, police, and residents.
I mean, that's one of the things that I really love about Pine Lake is if you see something or you think of an idea that you want to execute on, this is kind of the place where you can do it. Obviously, you have to work through some channels and make it happen, but people are pretty down for anything, which is really neat. You mentioned Jan Christensen. And I went to the gala. That's where I got this beautiful shirt.
What a beautiful shirt.
Thank you. I won it.
Greg Creech made
Greg
those
Creech
shirts.
original. He did the wardrobe for the show today.
Fashion art design.
Yes. But Jan Christensen won the Queer of the Year.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Jan Christensen works for the Georgia Coalition Against Domestic Violence. She is the executive director. And last year they saw the Justice for Survivors bill get passed, which retries women that had been convicted for killing their abusers. And in a lot of cases, evidence had been overlooked, or they'd not just begin a really fair trial. Yeah. And so being retried. And so women are getting out of prison.
That's really cool.
It's very emotional and just such good work and exactly what we are looking for in a Queer of the Year.
Can you remind us who the Queer of the Year has been each year?
Yes.
That feels like a pretty big deal.
It is. And we're really proud of it. It's one thing that Atlanta Pride really likes that we do. First year was Melanie Hammett, who was mayor at the time and was very supportive. And then it was Kathy Denabraga, who was a former mayor, Queen of Lake Fest. Who also helped me figure out a lot of the permitting and planning. She's been an incredible mentor. There was Jean Bordeaux, who mayor pro tem before me, and I'm filling big shoes.
Yeah.
Then it was Susan Lightcap, who is teaching me to sew, and some other people around Pine Lake to sew. Artist extraordinaire. She is. People write books about Susan Lightcap someday, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And then this year, Jen Christensen.
Amazing. Yeah, I when I was at the gala, I obviously didn't know everything about Jan Christensen, but what an incredible story. And this person lives here in Pine Lake.
Here.
And then you look back on previous years and you're like, oh, we just have a lot of really incredible, amazing queer people that live here that make a really big impact in their community. And I think it's really great that Pride Lake has shined a spotlight on all our amazing queer leaders.
We don't have a shortage every year of who we're going to choose. It's how we're going to decide. And so it's nice to have a wealth of pillars. This place is unlike any place I've ever lived in my life. And I wouldn't want to live anywhere else.
Me either. So with the Queer of the Year, do they do something at Pride Lake?
They lead the march, the parade. They start us out. So we acknowledge them and talk about what they're doing. Just give them the love that they deserve.
And so tell me, because I've never been to Pride Lake before. It's my first year here in Pine Lake. I loved the gala. So you have the gala every year about a month before Pride to raise money, and it's a cool bingo, and there's a drag queen. So next year, if you didn't go to the gala this year, go. And that was so fun. But tell me what Pride Lake is. Tell me what happens. I know there's going to be rollerbladers. There's going to be a Queer of the Year. What else?
So we start at 2.
Okay.
And we start kind of quiet. Stephanie Kohler does a sound bath. Debbie Liam does some yoga.
We're preparing our bodies.
Right. I kind of like to call it for indoor gays because Atlanta Pride, I've always thought has just been too big and too much and too overwhelming.
Party.
And so we like to start calm, work our way up. And then we have different activities for the whole family. And then at 4, we do a march parade around the lake. That takes about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then we have a local talent show. So we have local singers. Emily Backus, Mom Friend, performs with us. The Flying Jays. My husband Timberly likes to start us out because he has a fantastic voice.
He does. I heard it at the gala. That's true. I was very impressed.
Let's see, who else? Oh, I feel like I'm leaving people out. Chris Casariego and Cheryl do a really lovely. Every year, it's fun what they do. I have no idea what they're doing. I don't ask. They have a concept. They run with it.
Yeah.
It's hilarious and beautiful at the same time every year. So we start with that. And then we have my favorite, which is the drag show, where we hire and pay
Good.
local drag talent to come and twirl for us. We ask them little questions about their drag experience and their name and what kind of drag they like to do.
Yeah.
And we try to change it up pretty much every year, except for, of course, Miss Pine Lake Stiletto, who has been with us for 5 years now and probably always will be.
Okay. Well, I can't wait to meet her.
She's a hoot. She is what I like to call old drag with feathers and headdresses, and she does puppets and she sings and just
a variety act kind of. I'm really excited. I think it's going to be so much fun. What day is it on?
September 12th.
September 12th, 2 p.m.
2 p.m. start. We'll start the drag show at 7, and we'll start the talent show at 5.
And then my last question for you, because this is a big milestone, I want you to think back to the very first Pride Lake, when you first had the idea of it. You're sitting there with Jan Christensen. You're talking about, what if we did a Pride event in Pine Lake? What is one piece of advice you would give yourself, knowing everything you know now, to young Thomas?
Ask for help. I wish I knew about the resources that were available to me now. Atlanta Pride did not have their Pride Across the Peach State grant yet, but it would have been nice to start that from the beginning, asking residents to step up and help. And if you want to volunteer, go to pridelake@gmail.com or go to pridelake.org. And there are so many ways that you can help. If you just want to sit at a table and sell T-shirts, if you want to be an activity leader. So there are so many ways that you can help.
That's great advice, I think, for anyone. It's just like, ask for help. Especially in Pine Lake, like, so many people want to help. They just need to know that you need help, basically, right? So you're asking for help to the good people of Pine Lake. So if you want to volunteer or you want to donate, also always accepting donations.
Always.
Go to pridelake.org or email pridelake@gmail.com.
The best and easiest way to help? Show up.
So say the date again.
September 12th.
September 12th at 2 p.m. The drag show's at 7 p.m. But the whole schedule will be on the website.
It will be.
Then, so you can check that out.
And we're done by 9. You can go home. Have an early night.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Courtney. Thomas. I appreciate it.
I appreciate everything you do for this little city. Come to Pride Lake on September 12th.
I will be there, and I'll probably be volunteering.
I love it.
Amazing. One thing that we forgot to mention during that interview is that Pride Lake is actually the only Pride event in the area. So neither Stone Mountain nor Clarkston have a Pride event. So another reason to be proud of Pine Lake. Next up, I had a chat with Jim Paproski. Jim is the only candidate for city council. So he's going to be taking that seat in November for a 1-year term. So let's hear what Jim has to say. Hello, and thank you so much for joining us, Jim Paproski, who is now running for city council unopposed. So basically in November, you're going to be taking a city council seat.
They assume you're going to vote for yourself. Because that's what it was when I was on the council last time. Nobody ran against me.
I'm so excited that we have someone who's running, because if you didn't run, there wouldn't be anyone running.
I was thinking about it. I didn't know whether it would just be vacant or they have to do a special election.
I don't know. I'm assuming it would just be vacant for the next year. This is kind of an interesting election because this role is only for a year. So basically you'll be city council member from November until January of 2027.
Right.
So tell us why you wanted to run.
Things are happening in the city and you hear everything on the different pages.
Yeah.
And some people get stuff done. Even some of the customers straighten out the post office. They're doing it right now.
Yeah.
But I wanted to see how it was run and if there was any way that I could help.
Because you have been on city council before.
I have, but it was a strong mayor, weak city council. And opposite of that now with a city manager.
And when you were, what year was that you were?
96, I think.
96. Okay, great. So you kind of want to come in to see how things have changed and see if there's a way that you can support in the city getting more done, or is there some kind of goal that you have going into this next year?
Yeah, that's kind of it. I just want to see what's going on, and I don't want to be the guy that sits in his front yard complaining about the government all the time without knowing what's really going on. And I think that would be good to other council members. I haven't met all of them, but of course I've known Jeff since he moved in 96. And then Deb, I know her through my niece.
Right.
And the other, there's Jane and Thomas. And Stephanie, right?
Stephanie. Yes.
I haven't met them. I see Jane walking her dog by my house.
Yeah.
It's all waving stuff.
Yeah. Well, you're going to get to know them very well for the next couple of months. Do you have any anything that you want to focus on as a city council member?
A little bit of everything. Taxes, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I talked to some old city council members and they said, is there any way you think there's any fat in that? And two of them told me no. But you don't know till you get in there. And I don't see us wasting money anywhere. But there may be something we can help. Somebody come up with a new idea or copy something from another city. Sometimes that helps a lot.
Right. How long have you lived in Pine Lake?
Since 95.
Okay, and then you just jumped right in to a city council position, right?
I was on the plane for about 3 months.
Okay.
And then when they had the special election, Mike Stuckey came and asked me if I would run. The plane's good because they make people, I think they get a lot of city council members from there and mayors of sort because it's a good training ground.
What would you say was your approach when you were a city council member before?
When I was on, things were fine. There was something, we had the big, I can't think of troubles.
Troubles.
With the police department.
Oh, right. And was that with the speeding tickets? Okay. Yeah.
But what it was, I went down to talk to the chief of police, and I think it was McGarity. And I said, why I go to court and there's nothing but black folks there. What's going on? He says, well, a lot of people pay ahead of time. But he had gotten some people from DeKalb, I think it was DeKalb College then, and they did a survey of the cars coming up and down. But what his focus was on drive-out tags. Now, Georgia changed law because of what Pine Lake did, causing all the problems.
Well, I love being impactful.
But it was getting too bad. I mean, we were making way big money on that, and it was all going to the police department.
Yeah, it's a shame because I look back, I think when we were talking about the millage rate a lot over the last couple of months, I was like, we've survived for so long. Like, how do we do that with lower millage rates or different millage rates? But it turns out it's usually because of some kind of fraud that was happening.
I don't know if it was the council I was on or the one afterwards, but somebody actually lowered the millage rate a couple points.
Wow. Okay.
And that was
possible.
Good. It is possible, but you don't know. You have to work really, really hard to get the millage rate because things have changed so much. And there's a lot of laws that the state implements. It's going to cost you more money.
Right. Yeah, I think that the only way to lower millage rate, as far as I understand, is to bring in additional streams of revenue to the city. And so that's kind of the big question mark, is like, how can we find these like little streams?
Annexation, and they've been trying that since I was on the city council.
Yeah. How do you feel about annexation?
I felt like it was the commercial, but the commercial people don't want to pay the extra.
Right.
And there's some residential that we could handle easily, like over at Oak Hill Circle or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's that much.
Right. How much that would actually bring in.
Yeah.
I think it's an exciting time to be in Pine Lake.
I think it is too. And people have changed, but they've not changed. Everybody's friendly. They're willing to help work on stuff. People will go down and clean up stuff on the lake on their own. I see one lady every day down there.
The volunteerism in the city is so near and dear to my heart. I'm such a big believer in like showing up and participating in the place that you live. And I've never seen a city like this where so many people are so involved. Well, I am grateful for your service in joining the city council.
Check with me next year.
Yes, we will stay in touch. Is there anything you'd like to let the citizens of Pine Lake know as you kind of take your position in November?
I'm going to be on a learning curve because it's a much different form of government than what I was on. So I don't know what I can do and what I can't do, or how I can help, and who not to make mad and stuff like that.
Yeah. but you're coming in with some ideas of how things were run before and really coming in with the idea of how can we make things better, which is, I think, everyone's kind of intention.
Or lower the taxes or whether we can't.
Well, thank you so much for your time today, Jim. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Of course. Another big thank you to Thomas Torrent and Jim Paproski for taking the time to chat with me. And that wraps up this episode of Public Comment. If you like the show, I am begging you to share this with your neighbors. And if you don't like the show, please email me and tell me why. You can email me at publiccommentpodcast@gmail.com. See you next time.